very short poems that become more relevant to the situation that we're in now as we go on. First one's called Necessary Feeling. If you're listening to this, then I've finally given in to the suspicions, or the roads are growing more dangerous, or the park's too dark at night. I gave up the people who knew me for mystery, their whereabouts a moon that doesn't set in my head. Everything I've said has been an audience aside, addressing the many-eyed black space to infer another's flaw, my own boredom, vigorous love. It's traditional to be full of wisdom, but I'm tired. I didn't get eyes with igneous hammocks without pulling a few late-night boners. The sheet music is in the bedside drawer. It's open to interpretation, but I play it with a light sombre. Think medieval ice cream van. This is probably more than you need. The next poem takes as its title a line from Charles Dickens' short story, who I believe has relatives buried in the ground here. This unnatural valley while we speak so low. I'm not home right now. Country roads go both ways. Getting lost becomes contrary motion, a discipline of blurring out. Walking, I'm surrounded by images. They offer themselves without sound. Hay bales 5 stories high, a building of dead relatives. A wall made, now broken. I don't own anything here. Me and 2 friends alone. Our conversation stirs between us. I'm stunted by the possibilities. I hope it isn't obvious. Walking is necessary and boring. What's there to think about? All this becomes sludge eventually. Trees fall and birds melt. The future as moody teenager. Everything black with flame detail. The spider watches me piss. 8 eyes can't see shit. This open world, those owls. Unaware of the road's incline, we decide that music trumps poetry, and bad poetry is about holidays. We unpick these decisions quickly. What's important is your playfulness, how you interpret wild harps, the wind through the telegraph wires. And this last poem, I got really obsessed with Harold Pinter a couple of years ago. Like I just sort of devoured everything that he had written, and all the sort of televised versions of his plays. I even came here to look at his grave, which it's not. I mean, it's great, but it's not like a fancy grave or anything like that. I'd recommend going to see it. But at the same time, while I was obsessed with him, I was asked to write a poem for an anthology of poetry about The Simpsons and about different characters in The Simpsons. And I asked who was left, and Homer was left. So I decided to write Homer Simpson as if he was a character in a Harold Pinter play. And this is called Homer Simpson's Final Speech from Harold Pinter's The Homecoming. No son of mine is going out like this, running back up to the treehouse. Can you believe it? This is what happens when you go away, Lisa. How long has it been? Your brother becomes a sissy, and your sister, well, we don't know where she is. You know, people believe that nuclear fission makes you infertile, that all that careful handling of glowing rods through gloves that come right up to your elbows leaves you limp. But not me. Look at the lot I've raised. 2 bloody children and a genius, all by myself. I remember before your mother left us, she told me about when she saw you being held in the air by older kids. She called you her sunbeam. You let the light into her heart. She was right. Since then we've been jabbing around in the dark, your brother more than most, the bitch. Don't forget I used to throttle him. I used to grab him in my 2 hands and just go for it. I might be an old man, but I can still give him the boot. He's just lucky I've let him stay here, that puddle of slime. There's something that happens to an old man, Lisa. His centre of gravity shifts. He sits still more, watches the world go through a house. All he does is remember. I can recall when the sound of your saxophone filled the garage. Now it's filled with old junk and beer. How about you get me one? Wait, Lisa, kiss me.